Strip everything down to image, word, idea. Without narrative, it means nothing.
Pension Inspection presents Super Sentai Sanctuary! This is MJ. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an analyzer. Find all my work at mjmunoz.com. I'll be discussing what makes a good companion. What's the difference between a friend and a companion? This is Super Sentai Sanctuary Episode 7, A Good Companion. Avataro Sentai Donbrothers, Episode 7, A Class of Teachers, originally aired April 17, 2022. The writer is Toshiki Inoue, the director is Hiroyuki Kato. No, I'm going to jump straight into the negative stuff. In non-combat scenes, Kiji brother and Inu brother look rough. Positive, Saruhara's philosophy on freedom, imagination, and money is interesting. I almost wish they'd gone into more detail and explored it a little bit more, but I'm also kind of glad they didn't, because I think just having the thin sketch of it is interesting, presents his philosophy, show his weird imagination powers and stuff, and then show it being displayed through the students in the class. That's kind of interesting, but not dwelling on it allows for there to be room for it to breathe, and it can be addressed later, because it's an ongoing series, not like a movie or a one-shot comic or manga or story or anything like that, so... Anyway, moving on. Direction. The camera whirling around Don Momotaro and Blue Knight was pretty awesome, though it did seem as if the camera was of a lower quality of video, if that makes sense. Like, it looked amazing. The cinematography was great on that scene, but it looked like the video quality was degraded compared to the scenes around it. And then, actually, I looked back. I went back looking for my thumbnail and for the actually quote for the episode, and I looked at that scene a couple times, and it's very splashy and very cool, but it almost feels like it had no purpose. And Blue Knight comes in, we get to see the alter form, the little Robo-Mech, and the little Peach Robo, and we don't see the end of that fight. We don't even see him, Blue Knight, that is, get frustrated and run away. It just kind of happens, and I don't know. A lot of stuff in this episode was played very fast and loose, and I don't know if it relies on knowing the tropes, so this being like the second Super Sentai you've seen as a kid, or what it is. By the way, I'm going to just complain real quick. Tropes originally meant things that were novel to a genre that were included to spice it up and make it more interesting. Now tropes means, because definitions change over time, some do anyway, or some should be allowed to, and some should be safeguarded, I think. Now, a trope is a feature, it's a genre aspect, or a genre feature, not intended to make things fresh and new and exciting. It's just, hey, this is one of the old, tired tropes. So, it kind of stinks. Anyway, moving on. The writing, I want to know, is it an inconsistency that Taro went to the class because he lost a rock, paper, scissors match? Can he lose on purpose? Doesn't he always win? I thought he did. Maybe he was sick of winning, or maybe it was just for the plot that he lost so that he could come teach this class because he somehow knew his peach sense was tingling. His peach sense was tingling, and he knew he was going to have to come over here and fight this over-authoritarian teacher. Although all teachers are over-authoritarian, so never mind. I digress. I repeat myself. That's what it is. Anyway, let's see. General notes. Haruka is slandered and mocked by the nickname plagiarist at school. That really stinks. Taro confirms that he attacks the others to train them and says he doesn't want them holding him back, which gets us into our reflections, which is the big thing of the show. Which is, what's the difference between a friend and a companion, and what makes a good companion? I guess Taro himself defines that, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So, what's the difference between a friend and a companion? I guess a friend is somebody that you have some sort of bond with, because this show's about bonds too, right? And Taro's about bonds. A friend, well, you can have a companion, you can have a bond with a friend, and you can have a bond with a companion. Maybe the difference between a companion and a friend is that a companion is a fellow traveler versus a friend is somebody who you don't need to be working on. Well, and I didn't describe or define fellow traveler. I just threw it out there like everybody agrees on the meaning of it. So I'll go back to friend. A friend is somebody who you have a bond with, who you want to spend time with, who you choose to spend time with, and who you will do things for, whether that's helping them move or telling them they're being a jerk and they need to, check themselves before they wreck themselves, versus a companion. And typically I think a friend is somebody you like. And although when a friend is being a bad person and you, there's the thing, I wouldn't yell at you, I wouldn't hit you, I wouldn't do this if I didn't care about you. I think there's definitely some truth to that idea. You don't go around teaching other people's children or correcting other people who you don't care about. So the very fact that you're doing something to a friend to help correct them, while it might be uncomfortable and might stink for them for a little bit, in the long run, it's for their good. It's for their benefit that you're doing it, and you're doing it because you care. Companion, on the other hand, is somebody who you have to work with and who you're kind of settled with. Like, you're thrown into a cohort together and you got to work together in order to achieve something, because I guess the companionhood or the companionship, the companionship is driving you towards something together, and it's less that you just want, people say in relationships they want companionship, like older people, for example. That's why they, have romantic relationships or like quasi-romantic relationships between like an older man and an older woman, where they'll just like hang out, go to the movies together, take walks together, whatever, because they want somebody to do something with. But it's different from a friendship, and I think even they would define it as something different from a friendship, but maybe that's because it's less than a romantic relationship and more than a friendship. I don't really know. But yeah, so maybe even there can be companionships for different reasons. You could argue that there are friendships for different reasons, and while I would agree that that's true, I would think this concept of companionship goes beyond that, and you can be companions with somebody who you're forced into a situation with, not who you choose to be with. So I guess the companionship there would hinge upon or might center on like being tossed together, or a companion, somebody that you're put together with and forced into a situation with, and you have to get through that situation together, and you can either hinder or help each other get through that situation that you're all stuck in. I don't know, maybe that's what it's going for. And if that's the case, then however these people became the Donbrothers alongside Don Momotaro, or rather Momotaro, they kind of have to get through this thing. They're stuck in the system. Like, they're literally stuck in the system with these kibi points and stuff, right? But we don't fully understand that. And, Kaito is administering that, which they hinted to at the beginning of the episode in the recap. And somehow they have to get out. They have to get onto the other side of this thing through whatever, obstacle is before them. And we still don't truly understand the nature of that obstacle. But I guess staying narrowly defined to the point, a companion is somebody who you're forced into a situation with, and who you can either choose to work with or work against in order to get out of that situation, and you'll have a easier time getting through that if you work together, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of a strange thing to focus on, but like I said, the episode was a little thin. Very entertaining, but a little thin. Oh, actually, I didn't mean to say that yet. That's in my my scoring for the episode. So, yeah, that's what I think. Taro does kind of define for himself that a good companion is somebody who won't get in his way and who won't hold him back, and who's performing their function at the optimal level, basically. And that's why he pushes them and why he attacks them. And I gotta say, I thought it was hilarious that he spanked Oni's sister. Like, I'm not into weird stuff, and I believe firmly in like rules of modesty, and like my wife and I don't go around like grabbing and hugging other people if we can avoid, or we don't do that. We sometimes get in situations where we can't avoid physically dealing with somebody of the opposite sex, but we typically keep to ourselves, and we keep all that fire for home, basically, and for each other. So like, and I would never imagine spanking somebody, but like, this is, one, it's for kids, two, it's from a different culture, and like, I can see it. So therefore, despite my differences or whatever with it, and the fact that like I don't spank my kids because I think it's wrong, and like it sort of rubbed me the wrong way that they were yelling discipline as they were hitting the teacher and stuff, but the teacher was doing it too, or but in the context, the teacher was doing it too. It's the same word being used, and it's the same concept of the discipline of like the martial or the physical discipline within the school system, which I also don't believe in and I'm against. But in the context, I love it being used as a symbol of a tool of oppression and a negative thing, and something that needs to be dealt with. But then, Momotaro deals with it by turning it around and going from the victim class to the oppressor class and doing the same thing as the teacher. Although, I gotta say, when he slugged that teacher monster through the wall and the AR door opened up and stuff, first of all, that was a very cool effect. Second of all, well, no, flip it. First of all, it was so cathartic to see him punching a teacher through a wall. It just made me so happy. I did not like school for many reasons. Anyway, the other thing is, it was a really great effect. I kind of wonder how they did it, and I don't know, and I went back and kind of looked at that scene too a couple times, him punching through, because I was trying to get a good screen grab, but I didn't end up using that. But it was really cool. And it was just an impressive effect. So anyway, that's another good thing for the episode. But overall, yeah, the spanking Oni sister was funny, and in the context, he'd spank the others too. So it's not like he's excluding her or calling her out specifically for that. But it's just funny how it went down. And I think he'd have a hard time spanking the dog and the pheasant guy, based on how they operate and how difficult they are to make look good in the show. So anyway, my overall score for this episode, though, is a 6 out of 10. So like I said, or as I was alluding to before, this is my reasoning. It was a little thin, but it was entertaining overall. The work put into the visuals for the karate and shogi students is funny, but it was a bit much, and I wonder if it was done to fill time and pad things out. Same with Saru, or Saruhara, I guess. When he was envisioning fighting against, Taro, and then when he eventually had his word battle or whatever with him, it felt like it was padding things out. It was entertaining. And I liked it. And you could say it's character work being done, but it felt a lot more genuine when Tsuyoshi challenged Taro, so he could be the best man for Miho. Just think about the stakes of that versus I didn't like you telling me that I'm drunk off my own words, so I'm going to challenge you, and your confidence is so grating to me. Although it was funny that it's pointed out that his confidence can be grating. So I don't know. Overall, mixed bag. Definitely positive, more positive than negative, but just not a lot of, I guess you could say. Kind of weird, but yeah, I'm scoring this kind of harshly. So especially because I like Inoue's writing so much. If this was anybody else, I might give it a 7, but for Inoue, it's a 6. So anyway, I am gonna go ahead and get out of here. Expect a rapid release of the next episode, and y'all come back now. You hear? Check out mgwinners.com for all my other stuff, and there's lots of analysis going on there. That's all I have to say. So anyway, this is MJ. I leave you with peace and blessings. Henshin Inspection presents. That's insane. Oh, but I love it.